Colin, a disappointing afternoon on the road here. How do you assess what happened this afternoon?
Firstly, I want to apologise to the supporters in general, particularly those that travelled, and there'll be a number that travelled last week as well. Our two results in our opening two away games, regardless of circumstances last week, are unacceptable, and the results are painful. Hurting, really hurting is the word. But ultimately, you're the manager of the team and you're responsible, and I've got to take responsibility for that. I think I've got a lot wrong today, trying to find a solution to a problem that's posed around bodies and stuff, and I thought I didn't. We've got good players, and I don't think I've helped them this afternoon.
What do you think went wrong in defensive areas with your team today?
Happy with the first half. When you lose a holding midfielder and you've already got a tried and tested midfielder missing, you're sort of with two dilemmas, that if you can really be a threat at one end of the pitch, and we haven't, and naturally it sounds like excuses. My job is to find the solutions with what we've got available, and the imbalance in the team is clear for all to see, and that is the responsibility of the person that picks the team, that we felt we could restrict, put an extra centre half in to deal with their talented front two, be really compact across the middle of the pitch, concede a bit of territory to open up some spaces on counter-attacks. We did that. The goal is, do you know when things are going against you, things like happen and it's a deflection, it cannons off someone and rolls in the net. But like I say, set a team up to then come out in the second half and try and be a bit more, pose a bit more of a threat because you're behind, and it's backfired massively, and that's on me. Well, like I say, we've got good players. There's an imbalance, there is, that you can see, missing key players, but I've got to be better for the team and for the clubs, and that sort of lands at my door.
When you look back at the start of the season, how concerned are you by the defence so far?
Concerned by some of the performances and bits within the performances. So I can't come here to you, can I, and go, oh, it's a bad day at the office. We've been dealt a really poor hand since the start of the season, and what I'm angry and hurting about is there's some stuff that, some of my fears, very rare you hear me use that word, some of the things I feared have played out, and some of the areas where we're struggling are being really, really exposed. Desperately need to be able to pick from our best 11 and 13, but please do not misunderstand what I'm saying. That is not acceptable, no matter who is available in a Chester shirt. Don't twist what I'm saying. That today is, in the second period, is so far away. And my biggest concern with the start to the season is twofold. The manner of the goals against, where we are weak, they're cheap. I feel like we're a bit easy to play against in our own third. And the reaction to bits of adversity of, we've come out and conceded a penalty 2-3 minutes in the second half, 2-3 minutes later, and it's identical to last week of 3 quick-fire goals. There were signs of that in pre-season, and you hope that is part of playing in friendly games. It's not. That's clearly a theme and a trend that we have to take responsibility for collectively, but the person that's putting the team out there, and that's what I'm hurting. That is today is the bringing back down to earth, and it's now a really disappointing start over the opening 4 games. Does it define a season? I hope not. Shouldn't, but I hope not. Let's be really clear that we should be under massive scrutiny now, and I've got to be at the front of that, and quite rightly, like I say, I've not helped the players today. I don't think we've not equipped them to be able to deal with that in the second half when things change.
And it's 2 heavy defeats on the road in a row at the start of the season. How concerned are you by that away form?
Yeah. Maybe I've been given the opportunity to hide behind stuff last week. I can talk about us only having 10 men. Well, we've done the same thing in the second half today. We've conceded 3 goals. That is not what we've been over a 3-year period. If we analyse, take today's game tactically, done a lot of work on playing into a centre forward. We've got 2 really talented centre forwards of that type. Can't get either of them on the pitch. Feel like we're struggling to play a direct second ball game, which we've done really well. People have spoken about how difficult we can be to play against in those moments, with 2 of that midfield 3 that we want to get on the pitch missing. So you need to be solid in MO. If you're going to then concede those type of goals and be so weak in your own third of the pitch, that's what's going to happen, and that's on me, for as long as I'm given the opportunity to turn that round and try and put a bit more steel across that back line. But the back-to-back away, we're not going back to doing that. That's worked really hard year after year to try and turn that round. what I'm concerned about. It's another opening 4 or 5 games where we haven't got the points return. It can be real up, and we've played a good opposition today, and you can deal with the result and coming out on the wrong side of a tough game here, but we can't do that at the start of the second half.
And you must feel your team need to bounce back straight away on Bank Holiday Monday against Oxford.
Yeah, but my stuff starts with how I've set the team up and how I've assembled the squad and what it looks like within the parameters of what we can actually do within the realms of, like I said, I feel like we've been dealt a poor hand, and I'm now playing that poor hand poorly, and that's where I'm kicking myself about some stuff today, and I need to be better first to how I set the team up, and then collectively the whole group got to be better in. I've listed those 3 areas that we need to be able to do that, but then we need to pose a threat at one end of the pitch without leaving ourselves so exposed, and then in the first half we can't have to do that to be solid, where it is just men behind the ball and kill spaces. We've got in on some counter-attacking moments, but then we don't pose the threat that we feel like we could. So it's a humbling, and will come under real scrutiny, real criticism, quite rightly. But that has to come at the manager's door, because we've got good players. They've proven that. 4 games ago, they've got a core of a squad that was in a playoff final, had the second highest finish in the club's history 2 years before. Players have done that. Quite rightly, I should be in question about why I'm not getting the best out of that group, and how we intend to.